All around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? Winter's here and the time is right for sumo in the street. Down in Tokyo, sumo in the streets. In Osaka, sumo in the street. In Nagoya, sumo in the street. And even Hokkaido, sumo in the street. It's an invitation across the nation just for you to know some sumo stuff. There'll be laughing, singing, and even some music. We are sumo in the street. In Chiba, sumo in the street. In Sapporo, sumo in the street. In Nagoya, sumo in the street. In Nagano, sumo in the street. Even in Saitama, sumo in the street. Local point, final video of ISAD 2018. It's me, Jeff Diamond, and I'll be talking about a few more topics to finish this ISAD 2018. And first, we'll talk about the newest craze in January bashos. I mean, you've had Hakuo win a January basho, you've had Koto Shikiku in 2016 win the January basho, first Japanese wrestler to win a basho. 2017, you had this Kiseno Sato win, which got him 2 years soon. Now in 2018, this Tochoshin, and his story is a big story. By in fact, his name is Lavon Gorgadaze from Georgia, not the Georgia that's a U.S. state, but Georgia, former Republic of Russia. He's 30 years old. He was born October 1987. He made his professional debut in 2006. Top Makuuchi division in May 2008. However, due to injuries, he made a long move. He was Makushita 55 in March of 2014, locking 4 championships in a row in the lower divisions to go back to the top division in November 2014. 8 special prizes, 2 Kinboshis, and he won a Yusho. He competed in amateur sumo at the World Junior Championships in Osaka in 2004 and at the World Championships in 2005. But in his early days, he suffered from homesickness, and his grandmother died and his father suicide injury in an accident. But thanks to Kokai, he helped. So basically, the former second Toshiro Nowaka recruited him to Kasugano's stable. So it was the first time the stable had a foreigner since a Taiwanese wrestler in 1988. But they decided to take him on. After 11 straight Kashikoshi, he was secretary in January 2008 and won the Juro Yusho at 12-3. Unfortunately, his top division debut in May 2008 was terrible. He got Makikoshe, but still won enough. He was Makishiro 4 and struck nothing but studs, not oil, on the Greenfield record. He did win the Fighting Spirit Prize in November of 2009, finishing runner-up in the Basho to Haku, who was 12-3. However, he lost to Hoko Tsuriki, and he could have made his debut in the Saito Sanyoku ranks as a Komusubi. However, he defeated 4 Sekiro in May 2010 and got another Fighting Spirit Prize. He was named Komusubi July 2010, but he got back to Komusubi and did well. He took another runner-up in 2011 and won for another Fighting Spirit Prize. Unfortunately, in November 2011, he was punished and banned from training because his stable master was mad that he broke KF rules on curfew and was wearing Western-style clothes. Unfortunately, Tochoshin had an ACL injury in July 2013. He missed 3 tournaments and fell from Makashira to the Makushita division. At Makashira 55, he was 7-0 in March 2014, and then he went to Makushita 6 in May and went 7-0, so he got to Juryo. He continued his comeback in final style, winning 2 straight Juryo championships. The first after beating Uchinojo, and the second by going 15-0. Only the 3rd time in history since the 6th tournament system in 1958 that someone was 15-0 in Juryo. So he returned to the top division in November 2014. He got 11 wins and picked up another Fighting Spirit award. His first Kinboshi was a win over Haruo Fuji in March of 2015. He got another couple winning records, and got to Komusubi for the first time in 3 years. It's amazing. Tachiya Shin is from Makushita 55, which is the third lowest rank in sumo, or the third rank of sumo, all the way to Sanyaku. He's got the record for the lowest rank, followed before our return to Komusubi, at least Komusubi, since the war. So he went 10-5 in September 2015 and received a Fighting Spirit Prize. Unfortunately, he fell to Makashira by 2016, but he got to second Wake July 2016. Unfortunately, he faltered. So, in 2018, he was named Makashira 3, and he won 12 of his first 13 matches, which meant that he had a playoff for the championship. He received the massive support from the Georgian Prime Minister Kiris Kasfili. He beat Shoto-san, became the first man from Georgia, and the second man, Boruto and Kotoshu, from Europe to win. So, it's the first time that the stable, Kasugano, won a Yusho since Tachiya Sumo during 1972. So, anyway, it was amazing. Tachiya Shin is actually married and had a girl named Anastasia, who was born in Georgia. Unfortunately, he can't visit them until May because of his sumo commitments. So Tachiya Shin, can you imagine? Comparing your role to Makashita to Shuryo, and then all the way down to Makashita in 2014, and then he put up 4 straight lower division titles before he got to the top division. He's been at the top division ever since. The worst he's done is Makashira 10, but he's jumped up from that. So, yeah, that's amazing. And finally, why don't we just end this thing by looking at professional sumo controversies. We won't look too much at things. But, of course, we'll talk about this for a second. Well, first, gambling and Yakuza ties. On the 4th of July 2010, the Japan Sumo Association announced its decision to dismiss Koto Misuki Onoseki and his table master for betting on baseball games and abandoning run by the Yakuza. Obviously, you're not allowed to bet on any sport if you're a sumo wrestler. At the same time, 2 stable masters were demoted and 18 wrestlers were banned from the July 2010 tournament. 3 months before the announcement, Japan's largest Yakuza group, Yamaguchi Gumi, bought 50 prizes to the tournament so that gangsters were prominently visible during the national broadcast of the match. And this was to help cheer up a boss who was in prison. So, although there have been alleged ties between sumo and the Yakuza, the sport has suffered from waning public interest in sponsorship during the economic recession, which leads to closer ties to the underworld. Basically, my guess is that with money drying up, you have to do what you have to do. And unfortunately, that was terrible. Next is hazing. There was a big scandal. It's been well known and accepted that sumo stables have systematic hazing and physical punishment of young disciplines to toughen them up. Stable masters use shinai to beat up people in mistakes. However, the system of hazing was largely criticized in 2007 when there was a hazing sumo training by named Takashi Sato died after a serious bullying incident involving the stable master Yamamoto hitting him in the head with a large beer bottle, and she was ordered to physically abuse him further. The stable master and 3 wrestlers who were involved were arrested in 2008, and the Japanese Prime Minister Fukuoka said the JSA must take steps to ensure this never happens again. Yamamoto was given a 6-year prison sentence. And of course, women in sumo, not really that big. Professional sumo is also for the exclusion of women from competition ceremonies. Women are not even allowed to touch the dojo or enter it, as this is a violation period of the dojo. The female governor of Osaka for 8 years, Fuzai Ota, unfortunately had to present the governor's prize to the champion of the Osaka tournament, either in the walkway or send a male representative in place. Unfortunately, she tried to challenge the JSA's policy, but failed miserably. A few of those who criticize this men-only policy is that it's discriminatory and oppressive. I feel that way too. In general, women in sumo are only expected to be supportive wives of the wrestlers, and a surrogate mother for trainee wrestlers if her husband's a stable master. JSA says that it's tradition and it would be dishonorable for their ancestors if they change it. Of course, in Japan, it's more about honor and tradition than any other country, like even US and Canada. So, anyway. So, yeah. That's where things go sometimes. And finally, we'll end it with the max fishing and professional sumo, because obviously there's a lot of people saying that, can you really fix matches in wrestling? But yeah, it has happened before. In a 1991 book, David Benjamin determined over the span of the battles in 89 and 90, wrestlers who entered the final day of 7 and 7, who needed a win to get Kashikoshi, had the unlikely winning ratio of 81%, 39 and 9. He offered further evidence of cheating in sumo, but his analysis of day 15, the last day proves, represents the first effort to demonstrate that Rikishi sometimes trade favors late in sumo tournaments to facilitate the all-important goal of having a Kashikoshi. In 2002, Stephen Levitt replicated and expanded upon the research. They published the paper using econometrics in order to suggest that corruption exists. Popularized in Levitt's book, Ergonomics, the study said that 70% of sumo wrestlers 7 and 7 on the final day won. And the percentage was higher, up the more times the two wrestlers had met, and decreased when the wrestlers due to retire. The study says that the probability of winning should be 48% instead of 80%. There's a counter-argument, is that a 7 and 7 Rikishi is highly motivated to win his last match to gain promotion or stay where he is, rather than be demoted, while the 8 and 6 Rikishi are guaranteed promotion but not as motivated. However, according to research, the next tournament in which the two wrestlers met, there's a significant advantage to the 8 and 6 wrestler. So, yes. And the author suggested that 80% probability in the first match, 40% of the rematch, and maybe 50% a rigging of the belts. Unfortunately, that's not true in a sense. Of course, there's been other allegations. Former sumo wrestler Konishin Suga came forward with allegations of match rigging, drug use, escapades, and all that, with a supporter by the name of Shichiro Hashimoto. They thought escapades and ties from the mafia. They were both found dead in the same hospital hours apart. Some say it was poisoning. And a weekly tabloid, Shukaganda Gendai, says that belts were fixed in the 80s and 90s. In 2000, a former wrestler, Sasuke Akai, says that 80% of sumo fights are fixed. And Shokin Gendai reported that Yokosuka Shoru had been paying wrestlers for more matches for him. But a court ordered the publisher to pay 44 million yen, or I think it was $130,000. I can't remember the number I said. The Japan Sumo Association. Wakanoho, a wrestler who was expelled for cannabis use, claimed he was forced to accept bribes to forfeit sumo matches. He implicated Kotoshu, Ayo, and Shirotaikai, among others. Unfortunately, he would retract and then change his position back. So anyway, there are a couple of court cases for the 2011 max fixing things. Oshikaze and Sokukurai were expelled when they refused to submit resignation papers. Sokukurai actually was reinstated to sumo later in July 2013. However, the 2011 investigation was made in February when the Minister of Education, Culture, and Sports announced that investigation into allegations of baseball gambling by sumo wrestlers And officials have discovered cell phone text messages indicating some matches were fixed. And they said 14 wrestlers / stable masters were involved. 3 wrestlers, Chiyu Hakuho, Asuga Nishiki, and Inatsu Kaza, admitted to throwing the belts. So basically, after that, the JSA, the Japan Sumo Association, said that they will cancel the March 2011 tournament in Osaka. The last time a grand tournament was canceled was 46 after the war. So basically, 23 wrestlers were judged guilty of match fixing and expelled. Things were widespread. Recovering the problem was made more difficult by the presence of a separate form of collusion. The wrestler going lightly on an appointment without the exchange of money. But anyway, the individual has to go to the wall. So anyway, there were a lot of expulsions and all that. So they decided to come up with policies to combat match fixing, such as strengthen the investigative panel, assistance with the regulations for conduct in dressing rooms, as well as strengthening of the existing regulation, establishing a hotline for anonymous reporting of match fixing, adopting expanded regulations for disciplining wrestlers for lethargic sumo, guidance and training for stable owners and wrestlers, a policy for resurgence in competitive sumo spirit, and considering the establishment of a new system exempting wrestlers on injury from pay, deduction, or demotion, which is weird. So anyway, yeah. Amazing what you can find. And that's all I got. So, I finished all 6 parts of my sumo expose for 2018. Hope you enjoyed it. And I know you didn't want to hear me talk for like 20 minutes per video, but I had to do what I had to do. This is Jeff Diamond, and just to remind you that my ISAD 2015, 16, and 17 videos are up on my page, so you can look at what I have done in the past. I'm Jeff Diamond, sayonara for now.